As long as naval battles are not released yet, this tank has the biggest gun in War Thunder. And in this review we will finally get the answer. Does the size matters? Damage. You only have one choice. High explosive squash head. But don't rush to call agencies fighting Monopoly yet, as the 72 kg shell might outweigh your embarrassment. With projectile-filled 16 kg of TNT equivalent of explosives, one-shotting enemies without aiming for weak spots becomes something normal to you. Gun has very poor ballistics, which makes it hard to aim. Shell flies quite slow, so you should always aim higher. It's quite opposite to what gamers do in life. Reload is another big disadvantage. 33 seconds with a screw. Once you fire a shell, you can feel cancer developing. No armor, just house on top. That may cover from wind, if that wind is not too strong. Stops 7mm bullets and prevents crew members from falling off. A hull is slightly more armored, so driver represents smart person hiding in house's basement, which is a good idea given that there are bullets, shells and bombs flying around. Also, you'll find out that you have planes phobia, and every time you hear aircraft sounds, you are expecting to die. Though you can use that 7mm machine gun to make enemy pilot laugh and maybe you'll become friends, but that's the only use of 7mm machine gun, making friends. Despite being shot through like any proper house should, you have surprisingly good survivability. Almost no armor means that enemies' APHE shells are not likely to explode inside, since they have to pass minimal armor thickness to activate a fuse. And AP shells will not create much spalling since it depends on thickness of armor penetrated. And you have 5 crew members dispersed in a large area, which prevents one-shots. And avoided one-shot gives you chance to press that crew replenishment button that enhances their reproduction ability. Tank destroyers usually depend on their tracks to point gun to an enemy, but this thing has some kind of a turret which can turn about 40 degrees to each side. Despite covering quite good area, you may still have difficulties when coming out of the corner, and with destroyed track you have only slight advantage over traditional tank destroyers. Gun's elevation of 15 degrees is enough to compensate for gravity, and gun's depression of 7 degrees makes you a little depressed yourself. Hull down given you have a tall silhouette is difficult. Speed is nothing supernatural, but you can expect to reach up to 30 km/h forward, 9 backwards and 0 sideways. You can also turn on spot, which are all good characteristics for a house and average for a tank. Vehicle is identified as tank destroyer and completely depends on its gun and the team, which means that it completely depends on the gun. In arcade, get ready for long standing behind cover, reloading and repairing. It's better to stay behind your teammates and one-shot everything you see, since aiming cross allows you to shoot precisely on any distance. If you get too close to enemies, better don't miss that shot, cause if you do, they will safely approach you and teach you why missing shots is bad for tanks with long reload. The same if you have more than one enemy. As soon as you kill one of them, another will most likely finish you, so try to stay behind friendly tanks, as they are your only protection for more than a half minute. When reloading and repairing, consider joining air battle, since you're useless for that time anyway. In realistic, it's all about balance between being able to hit and dying. The closer you are, the better chances to hit somebody, but range increases your chances to survive a reload. Do use rangefinder. Sacrificed few seconds can compensate all that suffering of missed shots, unless you live in War Thunder and you remember all the distances. Overall, very fun vehicle when the shell is loaded, and boring when reloading, especially after you get hit and one of the loaders gets injuries. Expect one shot if you manage to hit enemy side. If for some reason you are still not subscribed, it might be the right time to do so.